Shaping Success with Wes Tankersley is brought to you by Aggressive Marketing Solutions, your solution for all business social media needs. If you need a team of social media marketers and content creators to help you build your brand on social media, text WES 2020 to 541-709-6502 today. Get started building your brand on social media. Success is defined differently by every individual. Some have never even considered what it is. I hope when I get older I'll be successful. What does that even mean? Money? Cars? Big house? On this show, we strive to look at it a little deeper, learning from successful individuals on what they believe success really is and how to obtain it. Everybody, enjoy the show. This is Shaping Success with Wes Tankersley.
Hello and welcome to Shaping Success. I'm your host, Wes Tankersley. Today we are doing episode 9 on the podcast and live show. We have a great guest today. His name is Boone Bartlome. Boone, welcome to the show. I'm glad you could take some time out of your day and do this interview with me.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Hey, I've been watching you for quite a while now. I've been seeing your story, on the media everywhere that we go, and it's a great story. And I just kind of wanted to reach out to you. I saw your ads for your new movement that you're starting with your clothing line and all that stuff, and I just wanted to get you on the show and help get that out and kind of share your story because I think it's a great one.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yep.
So let's start out. A little bit. We kind of know about the injury. A lot of people know about the injury and things like that. We'll get into that in a minute, but let's talk about who you are, where you grew up, all the stuff about you that people may not know.
Yeah. So I'm 22 years old now. Lived in the Treasure Valley my whole life, born and raised in Kuna, spent my whole life out here. Grew up playing all kinds of sports, football, baseball, basketball, rodeo, just anything you could do, motocross. I was just always outdoors, always out doing things with buddies, just didn't sit still a whole lot, just always busy doing things, moving. And that was basically my life for the past 22 years, just out doing stuff and having a good time. I'll go ahead.
So 22 years, seems like young, but I bet that the last few years feel like a little bit more than 22 years. I want to talk about kind of the elephant in the room, the injury that you sustained in that football game. Can you tell us a little bit about that, how that happened and where this all went?
Yep. So it was 2013. I was a junior in high school playing football for Kuna, and just a freak accident in the first quarter of the football game. I tripped weird, fell down, hit my chin on a guy's knee as I was falling, broke my C4 and C5 vertebrae in my neck and left me paralyzed from the neck down, no movement, no function. Obviously pretty scary for a 16-year-old kid to be anybody to be going through. But so had surgery, woke up, doctors were not very optimistic about my recovery. Tell me that most people in my situation don't see much recovery function or feeling wise at all. And so that's kind of the start of my whole new life, basically, is what it is. I had to basically start over from nothing and relearn how to live daily life. And so that was the start of the whole new journey for me.
So how soon after the surgery and everything did you start getting some feeling and started noticing that maybe, hey, this isn't just going to be the end of this whole deal? Yeah,
it was pretty quick that I got just a little bit of stuff back. I mean, I was still it's probably 2 weeks after from the day I got hurt that I was just barely lifting my arms up a little bit, like just about that, a couple inches off the bed. And, it's like, so I was excited about that. And it's just kind of hard it's hard to get your hopes up in this situation for anything, because with spinal cord injuries, it's so weird. Everybody's so different. You might have that little movement right off the bat, but then you might never see anything after that. And so it was exciting to see the movement that quick and coming back. But at the same time, I knew in my head, well, this doesn't necessarily guarantee me anything going forward. It's kind of a day by day, just take what you get and be happy with it, and work what you do have, make it stronger, and just keep plucking away at it.
Yeah. And so that kind of the one thing that I noticed the other day when I saw your video about the your All Try brand and the things that you're working through, is that mindset had to play big in that whole situation. What drove that mindset? Where did you learn that? Because that's not something that some people just get. I mean, I had a lot of influences when I was growing up. I had coaches, I had my parents. I mean, these are all things that push me to drive and do the things that I do. Where did that mindset come from?
I think playing sports is a lot of it for me. I just grew up constantly in sports, constantly doing things that I had the obstacles in sports. I had to work for things. I had, it's always a process with sports. And so I think a lot of that mindset was learned from that. And the try part of it, that was something I heard a lot in rodeo growing up, was just bunch of the dads and stuff. You just always hear them yelling at you at the shoots. Just you got to have try. You got to have try. I mean, it just means you got to have heart. You got to have grit. You got to just keep pushing through no matter what happens. And so that's kind of where I've learned that whole mindset, and I'm grateful I did, because it's definitely your mind is definitely probably one of the most powerful tools, and especially in overcoming obstacles, any obstacle, big or small. Your mindset is one of the number one things that'll get you through it.
Did you notice that when you lost kind of the use of your legs and that you started using your head more and started thinking about things more, and it just became more of a tool than what it was before?
Definitely. The hard part was for me, it started out as a negative tool. Like, I say it's a powerful tool, but it can be powerful in both ways, negative and positive. And I let it be negative for a while, just kind of, 16-year-old kid, I was just, all these sports are taken from me. So in my head, I was like, for a while, I was just like, well, I just had everything taken from me. And I let that mindset for a while just take over and be a really negative tool for me, before I started finally just kind of realizing that, it is what it is. And I can either be miserable every day, or I can wake up and I'm going to have the same obstacles. So I might as well take a positive attitude toward it and make myself better, instead of sitting and dwelling in the past.
That is great. I love to hear that, because I think that's, even for anyone who doesn't have the kind of the setbacks that you've had and the things that you're going through, there's a lot of people that you sit there and you look at how they deal with things, and they have this woe is me attitude. And here you are, a guy who's lost the use of his legs and his arms for the most part, and is working to make that happen. So that's really inspiring to people to see someone who, able-bodied person has issues. So does a person like you, but how you take that and you use that to make your situation better. So it's cool to hear that there was it's not a cool thing, but I think that people need to understand that negativity plays in your mind a lot, and that's anywhere. So it's how you choose to deal with it. And it sounded like you made that switch from, hey, it's not going to be negative anymore, it's going to be positive. Do you still kind of have some of those doubts from time to time, or is it more of, hey, I'm working really hard to make it so it's positive only?
I really do try. And that's the cool thing about it is, and this kind of just one of my main points of this whole thing is, the great thing about it, is you can't control a lot of things in life. I couldn't control that injury. I couldn't control the doctors doubting me. But the one thing you can always control and have, full power over is your attitude and your mindset, no matter, and you can control, it's an everyday thing. You can wake up in the morning and tell yourself, hey, I'm going to be positive today. And it's that easy, like it doesn't have to be super hard. It doesn't have to be, it is hard. A lot of times, you're going through stuff, and it's not always easy to have a positive mindset, But the cool thing about it is that you do have the control over it, no matter what your situation is, no matter what you're going through. It's your decision to either be positive and make the best of it, or let it kick you down and run you over. And so for me, that's a big, I just try to every single day just wake up and I tell myself, hey, I'm gonna have the same obstacles I did yesterday. We can either make it a good day, or I can make myself miserable by just letting myself feel bad for myself. Basically, you can feel bad for yourself, but it ain't going to get you anywhere. It's just going to get you down, going to get you sad, going to get you depressed. And if you just start focusing on the little things and just trying to make positive changes in your head, just look at things in different ways. And that's the big thing I've done, is just use humor with this injury and just turned all these bad situations into positive situations. One story I always tell is, when I first got hurt, it was in a big adjustment of people just staring at me all the time. You guy in a wheelchair, not many people see that all the time. And it bugged me. I was just like, oh, I'd hate going out, just because people were always just staring at me. And so now what I do is I just, simple mind trick. I just make fun of it. And I tell my friends when we're out and people are staring at me, I'm like, man, I must be looking freaking good today, because all these people are just checking me out, man. I don't know what I did today, but I'm looking good. It's just little things like that play a big role in changing your mindset and your attitude and positivity overall.
That's awesome. I'm 39, and for a 22-year-old, that shows some really big growth for you to understand the way that works. You kind of got forced into it, but it's awesome to hear that you have thought about it that way, because I've spent the last 6 months trying to change my mindset, because I've always been this person who thought of things negatively. And not that anything was really bad. It's just that I had this mentality that it was going to be bad until it got good. And I switched that. And when I flipped that switch, I started running into all these people who think the same way that I do now. And it's very inspiring. So that's great that you have that mentality now, because, for a guy like me who's 39, trying to make that switch, with 39 years of the other mentality is crazy. Yeah. So you're way ahead of everyone. So that's awesome.
Yeah. It's a little bit of luck. I think it's I was just saying, I think it's a little bit of, for me, it's a good, as bad as the situation was, it was good for me to get that early on. I don't know. I think like you said, I've got a big head start on a lot of people. And I truly do view that as a blessing, that I've got I did a lot of growing up really quick, and I've learned a lot of life lessons early on. And so now it's just, I got a lot more life to just work and move in a better direction. I truly do view that as a blessing for me, honestly.
That's awesome, because that's going to take you so far. I think you have a lot of sharing that you're going to be able to do through this whole situation, which I know there's so many people who watch it. I was trying to watch some interviews that you did this morning on YouTube and catch up a little bit more and more, because I knew the situation, but I didn't quite know who you were as far as everything else. So there's some great stories on YouTube about you. And that's awesome. So you created this thing. It's called I'll Try. You're wearing one of your shirts right now. Can you tell me about the clothing line, about what else you're doing with that? Is it just going to be a clothing line? Is there going to be more to it? What's the vision for that?
Yeah. So my vision for this, just I'll try. Like I talked about, it stemmed from what I was telling you about earlier with the rodeo stuff. It just kind of that mindset. And then with the things I've learned over the last 6 years, just kind of meshing that together to make All Try. And it's just about having an attitude, like we just talked about, being positive, just giving 100% effort at all the things you do in life, whether you got goals, you're overcoming obstacles, you want to become a better friend, a better dad, whatever your aspirations in life are. It's just about going after them 100%, not letting obstacles get in your way. And I'd really like to see people start living that way, because it's not how we always attack life. And so I'm just hoping to be able to motivate people to do that. And so, the clothing brand is a big part of it for me. I'm hoping to be able to go around to trade shows and different things, and just be able to share my story a little bit. I'm kind of going to connect it a little bit. I'm going to start doing some speaking, and I hope, and getting around, talking to people and doing things like that. So that's the main vision for the brand right now. Just getting out, telling my story, hopefully inspiring people to live just how we talked about, changing that, making that change from, oh man, everything sucks, to, hey, I can do this and I can get things done and I can achieve more than I ever thought.
Well, I think that you're doing that. I think that the good thing is that you are inspiring people, and I hope that you see that, because sometimes it's easy to just get pinpointed in the fact that, hey, I'm just here, but people see that. I'm glad you made the post on Facebook, because like I said, I've seen your story going out throughout the years on the news and things like that, but get to hear, a little bit more and do a little more research on it. It's awesome. It's very inspiring that you have come from where you are. And what's the prognosis on where you're at now? Have they tell you that with as far as you've come along that you may be able to walk on your own at some point, or is it just one day at a time still?
Yeah. It's there's no prognosis from the doctors anymore. I mean, they're basically day one, what they said. I mean, I've blown them out of the water, what they ever thought was possible. Like all my surgeons, everybody that was around, their jaws hit the floor every time they see what I'm doing now. And so, I mean, it's pretty much a day by day. I mean, I can get up and walk around a little bit. I mean, it's sloppy. It's looks like a drunken sailor a little bit, but I can get up and get moving on my own. And so I'm worlds past what anybody ever thought I was, but I've got a good group of people in my life right now that are working with me at a gym, local gym here, the Mecca gym. And we're doing some pretty big things. We're still attacking it every day. I'm getting stronger still, getting function back still. So I don't necessarily, I can't say for a fact, that I'm going to do one thing or the other, but I'm definitely going to give everything I have to be able to get out of the chair. And I mean, like I said, though, if it happens, great. If it doesn't, I'm still going to live a whole great life, do a whole bunch of crazy things. And so yeah, just living, and just keep moving forward every day.
Well, that's awesome, man. I applaud you for that, because I think that is just a great mindset to have, no matter what. Like I said, there's people who are out there who are just able-bodied and have no issues or anything like that, and you're pushing through that adversity. So great job, man. That's awesome. So the final question here, this show is called Shaping Success. And basically the way that works is, the way that I labeled it or named it was the fact that I want to help people shape their success. I want to know what their shape of success is. And your story is a great one to show people that, but it's kind of about defining what your success is. For me, it's different than it is for you. For anyone, it's a different thing what success is. For me, I want to help other people succeed in reaching their goals and learning how to do that. And can you tell us what the shape of your success is, how you define success in your life?
Yeah. Success to me is just, no matter what obstacles you have facing you, and no matter what, goals or things you're trying to achieve in your life, is just, to me, success is just going out every single day, trying to become a better version of yourself. And whether that means, small things, just doing little things to make yourself a better friend, a better family member, better in the gym, better, whatever, a better scholar, whatever your aspirations are, is just to work every single day to better yourself and to not get derailed, because there's going to be, it's not successful every single day. You're not going to go out and nail every single goal on the first try. So it's about just staying resilient, overcoming those things, sticking with it, not letting it derail you, just trying to become a better version of yourself every single day. And that's success to me, is just be able to go out and continue to try and improve yourself every day. That's what success looks like to me.
That's awesome, man. I really like that. I know we talked a little bit about baseball, and when you started saying all the little things, like that's how I coached kids and told them, take care of the little things. Yeah. And that's awesome. I mean, you think about like success in a baseball game is putting together a bunch of little base hits to score a run, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how life is. So I think that's awesome. Why don't you go ahead and tell us here real quick before we go where we can find the All Try stuff, where you're at on social media, if you have any handles or anything, where people can follow you, because I think that this is something that we really want to promote to help you get this out there.
Yeah, appreciate it. So Facebook, we have an all try page, ALLTRY on Facebook. Instagram is @_all try. And then our website is www.all-try.com. That's where we are. We'll be posting stuff. I'm hoping to get some, have people start sending in pictures or whatever, their stories, and just creating a whole community of people that are out there living that all try mindset and just attacking life every day.
Well, that's awesome. I want to say thank you for being on the show here. It's been a real honor to have you here, because your story is, I could tell just by listening to you talk a little bit before that there was that mentality. And so that's what we're trying to spread here on this podcast, on this live show. And you fit that mold very well. So keep doing what you're doing. I really appreciate you being here.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. It was a good time. Appreciate it.
Yep. No problem. All right. Well, thank you for tuning in. My challenge to you is to find the shape of your success. Have a great weekend.
This was Shaping Success with Wes Tankersley, brought to you by Aggressive Marketing Solutions. If you need a team of marketers to help you with social media, all you need to do to start is text Wes 2020 to 541-709-6502, 541-709-6502. That is Aggressive Marketing Solutions. Have a great day. See you next time.